Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
No one expected anything extraordinary that night. The lights were perfect. The red carpet was flawless. Celebrities stepped out one by one, moving slowly, carefully. Every pose calculated, every step rehearsed. This was supposed to be another predictable awards night. And then he ran. Not a metaphor. Not a dramatic exaggeration. He actually ran. At the Xingguang Awards, while cameras were ready to capture elegance and restraint, Liu Yuning appeared in a tailored black suit and broke every unspoken rule of the red carpet. Instead of gliding forward like a statue carved from luxury, he moved like a man late for work. His hair bounced. His steps were quick. His body leaned forward as if instinct had taken over. For a split second, the audience didn't know how to react. And then they laughed. Not mockery. Not ridicule. It was the kind of laughter that comes from recognition, because everyone watching knew that feeling. Here's the strange thing. The suit he wore looked sharp. Clean lines. Perfect fit. Elegant silhouette. But it wasn't a luxury brand. It wasn't custom-made by an international fashion house. It wasn't worth tens of thousands of dollars. It cost about 1,299 yuan. A suit that many people watching could actually afford. And that's when something unexpected happened. Within minutes, screenshots began flooding social media. Fans weren't asking, "Who designed it?" They were asking, "Where can I buy it?" The suit sold out. Not because it was rare. Not because it was exclusive. But because it felt close. In the past, fashion on the red carpet was a dream placed behind glass. Something to admire, never to touch. Celebrities were distant. Perfect. Untouchable. But that night, Liu Yuning didn't just wear a suit. He wore everyday life. He looked like someone rushing through a crowded subway station. Like someone late for a meeting. Like someone who knows exactly what it feels like to be in a hurry because he's lived that life before. And the audience felt it. What made this moment powerful wasn't the suit. It was the contrast. A formal stage built for perfection. And a man who brought reality with him. In that brief run across the red carpet, something shifted. Fashion stopped being about price. Style stopped being about distance. Celebrity stopped being about separation. This is why the moment went viral. Not because it was funny, though it was. Not because it was unexpected, though it was. But because it was honest. In an era where images are filtered, edited, and rehearsed, authenticity has become the rarest luxury of all. And Liu Yuning offered it without trying. There is a deeper story here. Chinese audiences today are changing. They no longer worship perfection alone. They value relatability. They value truth. They value moments that feel human. Domestic brands are rising not just because they are affordable, but because they understand real life. And celebrities who dare to be themselves, imperfect, spontaneous, unpolished, are the ones who truly stand out. That night, Liu Yuning didn't dominate headlines by standing still. He did it by moving. By trusting instinct over image. By choosing comfort over performance. By reminding everyone that behind the spotlight, stars are still people. So maybe the real question isn't why the suit sold out. Maybe the real question is this. When was the last time a celebrity made you feel like you belonged in the same world as them? That run on the red carpet wasn't a mistake. It was a message. And millions of people understood it immediately. Sometimes the most unforgettable moment isn't when someone shines the brightest, but when they move exactly like us. The story doesn't end on the red carpet, but the story didn't end when he disappeared backstage. In fact, that was when it truly began. After the cameras stopped flashing, something unusual happened online. People didn't argue about fashion rankings. They didn't compare brands. They didn't ask who styled him. Instead, comments began to look like confessions. "I walk like that every morning. That's me running for the bus. I finally saw myself on a red carpet." This wasn't admiration. It was identification. For years, celebrities have been taught one lesson above all others. Control the image. Walk slowly. Smile gently. Never break character. Because the moment you do, the illusion cracks. But what if the illusion is exactly what people are tired of? Liu Yuning's run was not planned. It was not designed to go viral. It was not part of a branding strategy. That's why it worked. In a world where everything feels calculated, instinct feels revolutionary. There's a quiet truth hidden beneath this moment. Most people today don't want to become celebrities. They want to feel seen. They want proof that success doesn't erase humanity, that reaching the stage doesn't require losing yourself. And for a brief moment, that night delivered exactly that proof. Think about it. A man who once struggled, sang in public squares, faced rejection, and climbed step by step, now standing on one of the brightest stages. And yet, his body still remembers what it means to hurry, to move fast, to not waste time, to keep going. That run wasn't careless. It was muscle memory. This is why the suit mattered, not because of how it looked, but because of what it represented. It didn't dominate him. It didn't turn him into a mannequin. He moved freely inside it, just like people move through their own lives. Fashion at its best doesn't create distance, creates connection. And that night, a simple suit from a local brand did what luxury often fails to do. It entered real life. The red carpet has always been a symbol, a boundary between them and us. But when someone runs across it like they're late for something real, the boundary blurs. And suddenly the carpet doesn't feel red anymore. Feels familiar. This moment tells us something important about the future of culture. The next icons won't be the most perfect ones. They'll be the most recognizable ones. Not flawless, not unreachable, but human enough to remind us of ourselves. So when people ask why this moment stayed in their minds, why it spread so quickly, why it felt different, the answer is simple. Because for once the spotlight didn't separate. It included. And maybe that's the quiet power of Liu Yuning. Not that he shines brighter than others, but that when he stands under the light, he brings the ground with him. When a small moment becomes a mirror, there is a reason this moment lingered. Not overnight, not for a day, but in people's minds. Because deep down, everyone knows this truth. Most of life is not lived gracefully. We rush. We stumble. We arrive slightly out of breath. And yet we keep being told that success must look calm, polished, effortless. That night quietly disagreed. Liu Yuning didn't look powerful because he slowed down. He looked powerful because he didn't pretend. He didn't stop being himself just because the floor beneath him turned red. This is where the story becomes larger than one man. Larger than fashion. Larger than an awards show. It becomes a story about pressure. Today, everyone is performing. On social media. At work. In life. We curate our best angles. Hide our fatigue. Edit out our panic. And somewhere along the way, we start to believe that being human is something to be corrected. But then a man runs on a red carpet. And suddenly the performance breaks. What people saw wasn't clumsiness. They saw truth escaping. They saw the body move faster than the mind, before self-control could intervene. They saw what happens when habit, memory, and instinct speak louder than image. That is why it felt so familiar. Because no matter who we become, our bodies remember where we came from. Liu Yuning's journey has never been smooth. Years of uncertainty, being overlooked, standing on streets singing to strangers who might stop, or might not. Those years leave marks. Not visible ones, but permanent ones. They shape how you walk, how you move, how you treat time. So when he ran that night, it wasn't a mistake. It was history showing itself. This is what many people miss. Authenticity is not a style choice. It's a byproduct of experience. You can't rehearse it. You can't manufacture it. You either have it or you don't. And audiences today can tell the difference. They are no longer impressed by distance. They are drawn to closeness. They don't ask, "How perfect are you?" They ask, "How real are you?" That simple suit, that quick run, that unguarded moment. They reminded people of something deeply comforting. That success doesn't have to erase your past. That standing on a stage doesn't require forgetting the ground. That even under the brightest lights, you are allowed to move like yourself. The irony is this. By running, he stood out. By being unpolished, he became unforgettable. By breaking the rules, he created a moment more elegant than perfection. And maybe that's the lesson hiding in plain sight. In a world obsessed with control, the bravest thing you can do is let one honest moment slip through. The red carpet will be rolled up. The cameras will move on. Another awards night will replace this one. But the feeling remains. That brief second when someone reminded millions of people that they don't have to slow down, smooth out, or reshape themselves to be worthy. Sometimes the most powerful statement isn't made by standing still and shining. Sometimes it's made by moving forward, exactly as you are.